Hey everybody, this is No Filter and Nintendo Podcast, and here's my review for Hyper Light Drifter Special Edition for Nintendo Switch. Hyper Light Drifter is a 2D top-down action game coming to us from Ableite Studios and Heart Machine. The world that these developers created is something astounding in Hyper Light Drifter. The beautiful art that they have here, which is this gorgeous kind of 1632-bit aesthetic with the Blade Runner-esque environments and post-apocalyptic but kind of beautiful with the amount of color they input and sort of the ruin aesthetic that they have here. It all blends into something that's really kind of engaging and it really kind of engrosses you into the world right from the get-go in this game. One negative I do have about the story though is that because of how abstract they make this game and about you following a drifter where you're basically just going up against a challenge that everything is spoken, there's no dialogue, even characters you talk to, they don't really say anything to you, it's all done with pictures and brief cutscenes that are very gorgeous by the way, just like the whole game really, but it doesn't really tell you much about the world or anything unless you really dig deep into it. But the world, it seems so interesting that you want it to be a little more like up front and center in the game. But either way, it's one of these kind of choices for storytelling that can be effective either way. For me personally, I'd like a little bit more of kind of a front and center sort of storytelling experience with it because it really is that engaging and like the character and how he's basically bleeding and choking up blood and dying as you're playing the game really kind of adds a sense of feeling and emotion to the game on top of just mowing down leagues of enemies. But yeah, getting to that though, the actual gameplay again is top-down action game. The game is very much based on a dodge and hit mechanic. However, you have a limited amount of dodges depending on how you are. The hits, you have a limited amount in your combos, so you have to be very picky and choosy with your hits, and that's one of the best parts about this game is the gameplay here. It's so smooth, so beautiful, 60 frames per second. It looks astounding in motion. All the characters have fantastic animations. All the enemies are very different. There's always something new getting thrown at you. So this dodge and move mechanic where you dodge to a side, hit the enemy 2-3 times, they attack you, you dodge out of the way, hit them from back. It's so much fun. It's fantastic. And if you follow my Twitter, you've seen some of my posts going up about it. Man, like as I was saying, the combat feels so smooth and fluid. It's just an absolute blast to play. Really, with the amount of fantastic things I have to say about the game, I still think that's probably one of the best things about the game, which might seem odd to people because it could be the gorgeous storytelling, the gorgeous music, or the very pretty, interesting visuals and the world that they created. Anyway, so the game, you basically have a sword and you have a few different abilities. However, most of it is going to be traversal. You go to a certain gem, you unlock that gem, you unlock a certain amount of those, you then get to go to the boss battles, which the boss battles are relentless, and I love it. This whole game is very difficult, and I hear it's been compared a lot to Demon Souls and Dark Souls type series with its difficulty, and it definitely has a bit of that where you get to a certain point, you have that checkpoint, you always go back there, but if you go, you lose some of your stuff, you have to go pick up where you left off, you have to go find where you died, pick up some of your stuff there so that you can kind of continue and then upgrade your weapons or your abilities at your hometown. It's it's very much using that sort of formula, and it's one of the best ones I think have used that so far. There's been a lot of Dark Souls sort of emulating games coming out, and this, I wouldn't say this is emulating that in that kind of aspect, but it's using the elements that Dark Souls kind of pioneered, and it's making them even almost even better in this game, to be honest. Obviously I've just been kind of gushing about the game for a while here. I just really want to say that if you haven't played this game, this is one of the best games on the eShop. For sure. Ableite Studios and Heart Machine, absolutely fantastic. I know that there is, I haven't really looked it up myself, but I know that there is a story behind the developer of this game, Heart Machine, and how I believe he had some sort of heart problems, and how this game is kind of a story about some of his struggles, and I think that's absolutely beautiful as well, and I didn't even look that up before I finished this game here to see that. Just everything about this game oozes quality and emotion, and it's really, gaming is a work of art, and this is one of the top top examples for that. It really is something pretty amazing. I guess there's not much else I really want to talk about it. Again, all I want to say is just definitely go take a look at this game. Even if you're not a big fan of just action games like this, I feel like this is one that everyone should definitely give a go, because this is, out of all these indie games that come out, there are a ton now. There are always those few gems every year, and this is absolutely one of those that you definitely need to give a go. So that's my review for Hyperlight Drifter. Again, thank you, Abilite Studios and Heart Machine, for the review copy, and I will see you all next time.